or adds to reality. It does not simply describe it. It enriches the necessary competencies that daily lives provides and requires. In this respect, it irrigates the deserts that our lives have already become. The Philippines ranked 6th lowest in reading comprehension in the PISA 2022 despite the reforms and preparations by the DepEd. Simultaneously, according to the Digital 2023 Global Snapshot Report, the Philippines topped 3rd in the daily time spent using the internet. Our country is under a reading crisis, and the majority spends more time on consuming content on the internet. The less we read, the lower our reading comprehension is, and the lower our reading comprehension is, the less we appreciate the Philippine literature.
Only 17% of Filipinos read on a day-to-day basis, citing that it is difficult for them to find time to read. However, that is untrue.
Filipinos consume content on social media and on internet for an average of 4 hours and 9 hours every day respectively. Can we really not find time for reading?
Filipinos only read for an average of 8 hours every month. This is about 16 minutes of reading every day.
There are more Filipinos who spend more time scrolling than reading. According to the Digital 2023 Global Overview Report, there are 84.45 million Filipinos on social media. This surpasses the 19.38 million Filipino book readers in the country by a wide margin.
We can purchase a smartphone, but we fail to set aside money for a book. A decent model of a smartphone costs about 10,000 pesos.
Filipinos are only willing to spend 199 pesos or less on a printed book. Although information and communication technologies have made our lives convenient, our obsession with them compromises the time that could be used for reading.
We do not read literature anymore, which is why the internet is thriving. It is growing at the expense of our capacity to critically read.
This trend greatly influences the attitude of Philippine youth towards reading, and it is repelling our youth from it.
When a generation in our country has many non-readers, how can we hope to produce future leaders? After all, they say a great leader is also a great reader. This tech race trend sabotages our education system and the preservation of our literature, but more importantly, our country's future. How can we hope to have professionals and upright citizens if they do not read our literature that contains Filipino values?
There are more than 210,000 books that are compatriots have published over the centuries. Can we simply allow ourselves to dishonor their efforts by neglecting to read their writings?
If we do not start a reading trend, a reading movement, our nation is set up to repeat the humiliating result of PISA 2022.
Franklin reads once. Think before you speak, read before you think.
Decades from now, our nation will experience the ill effects of a generation that cannot read well and is not well read. Only will their values differ from tradition, but their reading competence will also affect the state of our economic security and stability.
Their ability to think will determine our country's future.
To preserve Philippine literature, we must increase our youth's reading proficiency.
The better they are at reading, the more they will read. And the more they read, the likelier it is to preserve Philippine literature and ensure a prosperous future.
It is a cyclical movement. We cannot have reading as an activity without our literature. And literature is not without a reading competence to appreciate it.
The only way to be competent at reading is to read more. To appreciate literature is to read more. Parents and teachers are the main encouragers of readers. Hence, we need your assistance. To solve the reading crisis, we ask the teachers and parents nationwide to help us in our cause because you people are the beacons of this crisis. To the rest of you, I have a simple math problem. If you took your phone away, how much time would you have for reading? The answer is simple, right? There is much time for it, of course. Let us start a movement to lead by example. And it's time to remove smartphones from the pedestal.